This is The Warning.
It is Thursday, May the 1st, and yesterday, Republican MAGA members, fascists all of the House Judiciary Committee, voted to allow the deportation, unconstitutional, of course, of U.S. persons, that would be U.S. citizens, from U.S. soil to, well, El Salvador and the concentration camps. Let's listen to Congressman Swalwell fill you in.
The president deported a 4-year-old American citizen with cancer, stage 4 cancer, took him away from his American citizen father and his American cancer treatment. People just wanted cheap eggs. And now you're deporting kids with cancer.
100 days of chaos and insanity have been called victory by Donald Trump. In fact, when he was asked a question if he made any mistakes, Pete Hegseth, for example, the answer is, of course not. And that is, in the end, the core of the debate we're having in this country. It is a theological debate between people who worship Donald Trump and between sane people who love America. Now, a cult of personality has taken power in America, and it is filled with arrogant, preening, dangerous, sick little children and fascists like Carolyn Leavitt, the Homeland Security Secretary, one of the great clowns out of a nation of 352 million people. A deformed, malignant, narcissistic personality disorder, it turns out, according to the Daily Mail, is shacked up with Corey Lewandowski at the Navy Yard in Washington, where their apartments face each other. Here's Corey coming out of the Homeland Security Secretary's apartment with his garment bag. Family values, everybody. Everywhere you look, our country is being desecrated. Everywhere there's a screen on, there's a Trump official lying. Let's watch the delusional clown, Howard Lutnick.
So I have the pleasure of running the Investment Accelerator, which gets to recruit these companies. And you've never seen anything like the companies committed to building in America. Technology companies have committed over $2.5 trillion to build in America based on your tariffs.
Let's watch Pete Hegseth and Field Marshal Jennifer, his wife, who's actually running the Pentagon, dodge and weave the idea of accountability and responsibility.
You know, what a big surprise that a few leakers get fired and suddenly a bunch of hit pieces come out from the same media that peddled the Russia hoax.
Let's watch Scott Bessent lie about the Chinese who we're not negotiating with.
Over time, we will see that the Chinese tariffs are unsustainable for China. I've seen some very large numbers over the past few days that show if these numbers stay on, Chinese could lose 10 million jobs very quickly.
Let's listen to Trump's threats against Canada.
Look, I deal with every country, indirectly or directly. One of the nastiest countries to deal with is Canada.
Let's look at the graphs of the stock market, the currency. Truth of the matter is, the catastrophe hasn't started yet. Soon the shelves will be empty. The recession will grow. Suffering will grow. Poor people will suffer the most, as always, because it is always the most vulnerable who experience the pain of the con first. And Donald Trump lied to 100 million Americans frustrated by a broken political system, and they put their faith in a demagogue. The founders worried it could happen. It is the susceptibility of a republic to a demagogue. When the people are not represented, when powerful interests take command, which is what happened over 40 years, makes it possible for somebody like Trump to rise. And when somebody like Trump rises, this is what he brings with him. These people. And this is what happens when these people take power. Their insanity, their lies, their self-interest, all of it gets exposed. And you see that what they cared about wasn't you at all. They were never on your side. What they wanted to do was to enrich themselves at the public trough. And man, oh man, is Donald Trump, who was never a billionaire, he sure as shit is one now. One of the richest men in the world, for real, on the back of fraud and scheming and corruption, all of it on the taxpayer dime, all of it under the banner of Make America Great Again, because fascism has come to America, as was long predicted, wrapped in the flag and carrying the cross. And now the Supreme Court is set to rule that tax dollars can be used to fund religious schools. And so soon, no doubt, there will be taxpayer-funded religious extremist schools all over America run by fascists, teaching children that God is Trump. The disaster is real, but the good sense of the American people sees the corruption, not just of Trump, but of all of his enablers and appeasers who allowed this to happen. They see it clearly, and they're looking at the Republican Congress, and they're going to throw them all out of office. That's what's coming, a great tsunami. The question is, will it arrive in time before too much damage is done? Because with each fire that's lit, years of rebuilding is what follows. And this is the warning.
I'm Steve Schmidt. This is The Warning. I invite you to join this community where I promise to be honest, blunt, and direct about what is happening in this country. America is in crisis. Follow and subscribe to this channel and on Substack. Thank you.